Hey everyone, Cap from TCG Break here, bringing you my budget Cyberdark and Cyberdragon deck profile. With the release of the Cyber Strike structure deck, I figured I would provide an overview for the cards in this deck and put together 3 of the structure deck for players who are on a budget. So with that being said, without further ado, let's get into it. Starting with the Cyberdark monsters, I'm playing 3 Cyberdark Chimera. This has the effect where you can discard 1 spell or trap from your hand and search Power Bond directly from your deck. This is an excellent effect, as prior to its release, it was not easily justifiable to play Power Bond within your deck, as it was not searchable. Chimera also has the effect, once when you fusion summon, where you can banish monsters from your graveyard as material. Also, if it's sent to the graveyard, you can send a Cyberdark monster from your deck to the graveyard with a different name from the cards in your graveyard. This allows you to fill up your graveyard with an additional Cyberdark monster to possibly use as fusion material for Overload Fusion. We are also playing 3 Cyberdark Claw. This has the effect while it's equipped to a monster and it's sent to the graveyard, where you can target a Cyberdark in your graveyard and add it to your hand. Claw's most useful effect is where you can discard it and add 1 Cyberdark spell or trap from your deck to the hand. It also has an effect during damage calculation, where if it's equipped to a monster and that monster battles, you are able to send 1 monster from your extra deck to your graveyard. Claw is an excellent card to get your plays started, as being able to search out either your Cyberdark Realm or Cybernetic Horizon certainly adds to the viability of the Cyberdark engine as a whole. Moving on to the Cyberdragon monsters, we're playing 3 copies of Cyberdragon Hertz. As with most other Cyberdragon monsters, its name becomes Cyberdragon while on the field or in the graveyard. You are able to use 1 of Cyberdragon Hertz's effects once per turn, either when it's special summoned, where you can make its level become 5 until the end of that turn, or this effect you will use most often, where if it's sent to the graveyard, you can add 1 Cyberdragon from your deck or graveyard to your hand. Hertz allows for an excellent recovery play, as since you are able to add a Cyberdragon from your deck or graveyard to the hand, you are able to add the Cyberdragon core from your graveyard back to your hand for a follow-up on the next turn should you need it. Speaking of Cyberdragon core, we are playing 3 copies. This is your searcher when it is normal summoned, where you can add a Cyber spell or trap from your deck to the hand, and also provides a follow-up play for the later turns, as it has the effect, if only your opponent controls a monster, you can banish core from your graveyard and then special summon 1 Cyberdragon monster from your deck. Additionally, we are playing 3 copies of Cyberdragon. This is a free special summon from your hand if only your opponent controls a monster, and I am choosing to play 3 copies so that we are able to get maximum value out of a card like Machine Duplication. And to round it out for the monster lineup, I'm playing the 1 Cyberdragon Noxter and the 2 Jizukiru, the Star-Destroying Kaiju. Noxter allows you to discard 1 other monster and then special summon it from your hand. Additionally, if it's normal or special summoned, you are able to target a machine monster with 2100 attack or defense, most likely Cyberdragon, and special summon it to your field. I'm only playing 1 copy, as with the limitation of only 3 structure decks, we do not have access to the Cyberdragon Nova and Cyberdragon Infinity. Jizukiru allows you to out some of your opponent's problematic monsters, and you are not so concerned about getting over the high attack of 3300, as most of the time your fusion plays allow you to search out Power Bond and fairly easily beat over this monster. Moving on to the spell cards, I'm playing 3 copies of Cybernetic Horizon. This allows you to send 2 dragon and/or machine cyber monsters with different attributes to the graveyard, being that of 1 from your hand and 1 from your deck, and then add 1 dragon or machine cyber monster from your deck to your hand. And then if you do, you can send 1 machine cyber fusion monster from your extra deck to the graveyard. Most of the time you will send the Cyberdark Dragon from your extra deck to the graveyard via this effect, as we are not playing the fusion materials in order to fusion summon it, though it is required as material for the new boss monster, the Cyberdark End Dragon. Horizon is an excellent addition to this strategy, as it fills up your graveyard with monsters to use in your fusion plays via cards like Overload Fusion. I'm playing 2 copies of Cyberdark Realm. This is an excellent card in the early game, though I am only playing 2 as it can become a brick in the later turns, as you're able to add 1 Cyberdark monster from your deck to your hand with a different name from cards in your graveyard. Since we only play 2 different Cyberdark monsters in the main deck, this can become a dead card if you already have those 2 Cyberdarks in your graveyard. Cyberdark Realm also gives you the ability to normal summon 1 Cyberdark monster in addition to your regular normal summon, and lastly it has the effect where if you equip a monster from your graveyard by the effect of a Cyberdark monster, when that monster is normal or special summoned, you are able to equip from your opponent's graveyard instead. As for the fusion spells, I'm playing 2 copies of Overload Fusion, 2 copies of Power Bond, and 1 Cyberload Fusion. Overload Fusion allows you to fusion summon a Dark Machine fusion monster by banishing fusion materials from your field or graveyard, so this is excellent to use after you have loaded up your graveyard via your Cyberdark monster effects, as well as with a card such as Cyberdark Horizon. I played the 2 Power Bond because it is searchable off of your Cyberdark Chimera, as it certainly helps to end out games fairly quickly. Lastly, I'm playing the 1 copy of Cyberload Fusion, as it allows you to fusion summon a fusion monster that lists Cyberdragon as material by shuffling the materials into your deck from cards on the field and or in your face-up banished pile. I only play the 1 copy, as it has the prospective downside that monsters you control cannot attack for the rest of the turn, except the fusion monster summoned via its effect. Continuing with the spell cards, I'm playing 3 Cyber Emergency. This allows you to add a light machine monster that cannot be normal summoned or set, or a Cyber Dragon monster from your deck to the hand. It also has the useful effect where if the activation of Cyber Emergency was negated by your opponent's card effect, you are able to discard 1 card and add it back to your hand to use once more. And to round it out for the spell lineup, I'm playing the 1 Cyber Repair Plant and 2 Machine Duplication. You really only need to play 1 Cyber Repair Plant, as it is searchable off of your Cyber Dragon core, and it has the effect where you can add a light machine monster from your deck to the hand, or you can target 1 light machine monster in your graveyard and shuffle that target back into your deck. Repair Plant allows you to search a card such as Jisukiru in order to out your opponent's problematic cards, or simply add another Cyber Dragon monster in order to continue your fusion plays. Machine Duplication allows you to target a machine monster you control with 500 or less attack, such as Cyber Dragon Core or Hertz, and then special summon up to 2 monsters from your deck with the same name as that face-up monster. Of course, since Core and Hertz are treated as Cyber Dragon while on the field, you are able to special summon 2 Cyber Dragons from your deck. Moving on to the trap lineup, I'm playing 3 copies of Cybernetic Overflow. This is a great disruption on your opponent's turn, as it has the effect where you can banish Cyber Dragons with different levels from your hand, face-up field, and or graveyard, and then destroy an equal number of cards your opponent controls. Additionally, if Overflow is destroyed by a card effect while on the field, you can add a Cyber Spell or Trap directly from your deck to your hand. This can net you quite a lot of advantage, either via destroying cards your opponent controls, or simply providing you a follow-up play in the form of an additional Cyber Spell or Trap. And to round it out for the main deck, I'm playing 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. This is a much-needed reprint, and certainly adds to the deck's competitive viability, as it allows you to negate the effects of 1 monster your opponent controls, and if you control no cards, you are able to activate this from your hand. Additionally, if it was set before activation, Impermanence will negate any spells or traps activated in the same column. Now moving on to the extra deck, I'm playing 3 copies of Cyberdark End Dragon. This is the boss monster of your deck, as it's unaffected by your opponent's activated effects, and allows you to facilitate your OTKs through the use of cards such as Power Bond. It has the effect where you can equip 1 monster from either graveyard to it, and it's able to attack up to the number of equip cards equipped to it. I'm playing 3 copies of the Cyber End Dragon. You are able to fusion summon this fairly easily in this deck, and just as with Cyberdark End Dragon, allows you to facilitate your OTKs through the use of Power Bond. It has the effect where if it attacks a defense position monster, it inflicts piercing battle damage. I'm playing 3 copies of Chimera Tech Overdragon. This has the effect when it's fusion summoned, where you are required to send all other cards you control to the graveyard, and its original attack and defense become equal to the number of fusion materials used for its fusion summon times 800. It is also able to make attacks on your opponent's monsters up to the number of fusion materials used for its fusion summon. This is another great card to bring out to try to end games, and is a bit more flexible overall with its fusion materials, since it only requires a Cyber Dragon and 1 or more machine monsters. I'm also playing 3 copies of the Cyber Darkness Dragon. You will rarely fusion summon this monster, as it has a fairly steep fusion summon requirement of 5 Cyberdark effect monsters, though this may be facilitated through a card such as Overload Fusion. It has the effect where if it's special summoned, you can equip a dragon or machine monster from your graveyard to it, and it gains attack equal to the original attack of the monster that is equipped to it. It also has a quick effect negate when your opponent activates a card or effect, where you can send 1 equip card you control to the graveyard, negate the activation, and destroy that card. And to round it out for the extra deck, I'm playing the 3 copies of Cyberdark Dragon. We do not play the materials needed to summon this monster, though in this case, we have it in the extra deck simply as a target to send to the graveyard via the effect of Cybernetic Horizon. This then allows you to use it as fusion material for the summon of Cyberdark End Dragon. So this has been my Cyberdark and Cyberdragon budget deck profile. I hope you enjoyed, and I know this video was a little bit different than what is typically posted on the channel, though I wanted to provide options for the budget players out there, as I know most of the profiles we provide are fairly expensive overall. With that being said, that's all I have for this video. If you enjoyed, feel free to give us a like and subscribe. Feel free to leave any suggestions regarding changes you would make to the deck in the comments below. And as always, until the next one, have a nice day.